And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the second qualifying race for the Coca-Cola 400 as we prepare for 28 more drivers to try and fill in the final 4 spots into the race, which will be the third race of the Snickers Cup Series Season 3. Now, we have, as we mentioned, 4 drivers in this pack that are going to make their way in, and this is what you might consider the lucky pack, because there were only 3 that transferred in last time, and those, of course, were Leo Rogers, Sean Henley, and Jack Nathan. We're going to have 4 drivers who are going to be able to make it into the race here today, but there are only 4 spots available. That means 24 drivers are not going to make the race out of this field, so there's going to be a lot of hard racing. You can bet on that. And Joshua Courier is going to be on the pole. Joshua Courier, one of those few drivers that really we were surprised fell out of the top 35 in the points, and so he's on the pole trying to get back in, kind of like Jack Nathan. Then you got Ralph Mason making his first career Snickers Cup Series start in the number 70 car on the outside of the front row. How would it be if he'd be able to get into his first career points race in his first career attempt? That would really, I think, boost the morale of that number 70 team. Then you got Dylan Poteet, who will start in third alongside of Sasha Dawson. And here's the rest of the starting lineup for the second qualifying race of the Coca-Cola 400 at Las Vegas. Joshua Courier and Ralph Mason will get us underway. Dylan Poteet in third. If he doesn't make a race this season, there's one thing that we do know, that he will be in that number 75 in the $5,000 Demolition Derby. Actually, the car behind him, Pichu London, same thing for him. So, they've at least got something to look forward to, even if they don't make the race. But here we go. Green flag is out. Now, we're going to be very interested to see what happens over here in turn 2. First qualifying race, the front row wrecked. Guys who started on the front row, Kristen Murray and Steve Marsh, wrecked. And we're going to see if something like that's going to happen here, as they are getting awfully tight back there. Oh, and there they go. Yep, that was Tanner Sullivan in the 73. Tim Fiegel, Matthew Rodriguez spins. There's the 87 car of Bob Marshall. Ziggy Bain is involved. Mark George got a piece of it. Aaron Reed, who just got sponsorship this week, he's involved. Someone's on pit row. That's Matthew McCormick in the 86. Seth Cole sustained some damage. Looks like that's basically it for the drivers that were involved, but I'm surprised that didn't happen up near the front of the field. It didn't, though. Right now, the top 4 spots, those coveted 4 positions, are being owned right now by Joshua Courier, Dylan Poteet, Ralph Mason, and Pichu London. Let's see what happened. Now, Tanner Sullivan taking one of the hardest hits I think I've ever seen here at Phoenix. Watch up here. This is where it starts. Aaron Reed and Matthew McCormick. Watch the 66. I think he's just going to get into the 86 right about there. It's going to turn... No! Nope, right there. The 99 of Jake Johnson moved up, got Aaron Reed, and that turned him down into Matthew McCormick. So the 99 of Jake Johnson was the driver that started that wreck. And look at McCormick, hard hit there. Aaron Reed, nowhere to go. Tim Fiegel caught back there. Seth Cole was back there, nowhere to go. Ziggy Bain gets shoved down to the infield, goes for a spin. Same for Matthew Rodriguez. Christopher Blake does a pretty good job getting through that. Another car back there, can't tell. Oh, that's the 03 of Fiegel. Oh, wrecking up further. That was Michael Harvey, got a little piece of something up there. And Jeff Ehlers got turned around. Jeff Ehlers spins after I think there was contact between Mark George and Michael Harvey. And Bob Marshall, also involved in the 87 car. But I think Tanner Sullivan's day is done. Probably Seth Cole is done. I believe Matthew McCormick and Aaron Reed have both brought their cars behind the wall. So we'll try and settle it out as we'll go back to green. So we have 4 drivers that are out of the race, and if you'll excuse me for 1 second, I'm having breakfast on the fly here. So the 4 drivers that are out are Matthew Rodriguez, Matthew McCormick, Aaron Reed, and Tanner Sullivan. So they will not be in the Coca-Cola 400. Here's the way they look right now. The way they're running is we'll go back to green on lap 6. Joshua Courier leads. Dylan Poteet is second. Ralph Mason third. Pichu London is in fourth. And Sasha Dawson is fifth. Jake Rogers is up in sixth. Seventh position is William Duncan. Robert Cruz is eighth. Ninth is Alexander Dawson. And Rachel Williams is in 10th. Jake Johnson runs 11th. Ricky James is in 12th. Jacob Lawler runs 13th. 14th is Christopher Blake. Then it's Justin Perry in 15th. Michael Harvey 16th. Seth Cole is in 17th. 18th is Levi Shones. Stephen Dillon 19th. 20th is Jeff Ehlers. 21st is Tim Fiegel. Mark George is 22nd. 23rd is Bob Marshall. And Ziggy Bain runs in the 24th position. So we're ready to go back under the green flag on lap 6. Josh Courier got himself a pretty doggone good restart there. Everybody else did too, but Josh Courier was just a little bit faster. Looked like Ralph Mason was thinking about battling for that second position, but I guess he's decided not to. See if I can find a good battle back here. Oh, Alexander Dawson looked like he was going to make it a good battle for that 8th position. He slides back in line. Now Rachel Williams may be thinking about taking that spot. Not really much racing going on here. Here we go. Ricky James underneath of Jake Johnson. That is for position number 11. The Aaron's Toyota Camry underneath the Fastenal Ford Fusion. It looks like Jake Johnson's going to get ahead of Ricky James at this point. See about further up if anybody's made moves. No. This is the guy that's got to be pretty worried right now is Pichu London, because he's got Sasha Dawson directly behind him, who, if she gets by Pichu London, knocks him out of the race. By race, I mean the Coca-Cola 400. And Ralph Mason has now slid back into the 3rd position and almost into the clutches now of Pichu London, but he's holding his ground right now. He got a good qualifying spot, and he's looking to make his first career race and his first career start. Best battle continues to be for the 4th position, it looks like, as they start to close up. It's pretty much a battle for 3rd. Sasha Dawson all over the back bumper of Pichu London. Jake Rogers, William Duncan, they're starting to close in. Actually heard that William Duncan will be sponsored next week at by Valvoline. So we'll have that Valvoline paint scheme. Oh, battle is on for 2nd. Dylan Poteet's got to be one worried guy right now, because they're going to just start ganging up on him down low as Joshua Courier begins to pull away. Oh! Pichu London gets moved out of the way there. Wow. He just got shoved out of the way by Sasha Dawson. And now it's starting to open up. Ralph Mason, Dylan Poteet side by side for 2nd. Sasha Dawson now moves into that 4th position. That would mean that she would get into the race. Jake Rogers starting to close in on this. This is when things start to get bunched up and gets 2 by 2 by 2. Ralph Mason, though, he's going to try and go for 2nd place to clinch himself a spot in the Coca-Cola 400. Now Sasha Dawson underneath of Dylan Poteet. Poteet's got to be hoping and praying that this race is going to start winding down soon. Looks like he's going to try and get down to that inside line to block the Jake Rogers machine. Can he do it? No, he cannot. Poteet is in trouble. He's got to keep ahead of Jake Rogers, because Rogers is about to move into that 4th position. At the stripe this time, it is Poteet. I bet he was hoping for a caution right there. He would have gotten in and Rogers would have just missed, but he continues to free fall, does the Dylan Poteet machine. He'll try and continue to battle on the high side with Jake Rogers. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job of it, too. They're side by side down the back straightaway right now. We got Joshua Courier, Ralph Mason, and Sasha Dawson that we know for certain pretty much are going to get into the race unless something mechanical happened to them. Dylan Poteet going to try and battle back on the high side one more time. Can he do it this time? No! Jake Rogers on the low side is much stronger, and he's going to slide by. He's going to take that 4th position. Poteet now in danger of not making the race. Jake Rogers out in front now. Younger brother Leo Rogers won the first qualifying race. How would it be for both the Rogers brothers to be able to be in the Coca-Cola 400? We are closing down now, though. We are coming around. It's Joshua Courier going to receive the white flag. May have been too little too late for Dylan Poteet. Tough break for him as he's now in the clutches of William Duncan for 5th. Jake Rogers all by himself in that 4th position. Joshua Courier looks like he's going to win the race after starting on the pole. Ralph Mason, who started 2nd, is going to finish 2nd, and he's going to make his first career race and his first career attempt. That's going to be big for that number 70 car. Sasha Dawson's going to make it as well in the 77. Checkered flag is out. Joshua Courier will transfer. So will Ralph Mason. So will Sasha Dawson. And Jake Rogers will also clinch the 4th and final transfer spot. Dylan Poteet did not even finish in 5th. He finished in 6th behind William Duncan. Pichu London, who was up there inside the top 4 for a while, slipped and fell all the way to 7th. You got Rachel Williams, 8th, 9th, Alexander Dawson, and 10th was Robert Cruz. You can see further down here, the other drivers, a lot of these drivers actually were damaged from that first wreck, including Mark George, Stephen Dillon, Jeff Ayler, Seth Cole, Michael Harvey, Ziggy Bain, Bob Marshall, and Tim Field. That's why they didn't really get up to the front and battle it out very much. And then the day ended early for drivers such as Manny McCormick, Aaron Reed, Matthew Rodriguez, and Tanner Sullivan. But congrats to Joshua Courier, Ralph Mason, Sasha Dawson, Jake Rogers. They will join the other 38 drivers in the race, the Coca-Cola 400. We are going to be having the KFC 200, the Oreo Truck Series race, and then the Dr. Pepper 300, the Mobile One Cup Series race, and then the Coca-Cola 400, the Snickers Cup Series race, coming all your way here at Las Vegas on the NNSCRA Sports Channel. Offline racing at its best.